This is Bruce Friedman of Adult Site Broker, and welcome to Adult Site Broker Talk, where each week we interview one of the movers and shakers of the adult industry, and we give you a tip on buying and selling websites. This week we'll be speaking with performer Ny Ny Lew. We've got an events section on our website. You can find out all about the events in our industry and get discounts on some events. You'll find all that and more at adultsitebroker.com. We're proud to announce our latest project, thewaronporn.com. You'll find articles on age verification laws and other attacks on our industry. It's to raise awareness of our industry's plight in the war on porn. You'll find all that and more at thewaronporn.com. And we're always looking for buyers and sellers of adult sites and companies. Perhaps you've been thinking about either selling your site or buying one. Always feel free to contact us at adultsitebroker.com with any questions you may have. Now time for our properties for sale at Adult Site Broker. We're proud to offer a successful OnlyFans agency. The agency has 15 creators, with 90% of them being on salary, so the agency is highly profitable. They handle all aspects of marketing for the creators, including chatting and promotion, with highly predictable acquisition channels. They do paid advertising for subscriber acquisition. In addition to agency operations, the business has developed a suite of custom-built internal tools that represent significant intellectual property and competitive infrastructure. They have a custom content production pipeline built for synthetic creator content using AI with Telegram chatbot integration for pre-funnel fan engagement. It also offers WhatsApp automation. They use a proprietary analytics, KPI, and sales verification dashboard with link tracking, ad performance data, sales verification, and payout automation. All tools are built entirely in-house and don't depend on third-party SaaS platforms. This technology is a great asset for the buyer to own. We have a rapidly growing SaaS-powered OnlyFans chat agency with strong SEO. The company has over 30 clients with very little churn, ranging from around $10,000 to over $150,000 a month. The company continues to grow and innovate. New technical features include an enhanced chatter portal, a new creator billing dashboard with daily billing, and an automated blog system to grow SEO. The company's set up with very little upkeep needed by the owner. It's a cash cow that's still growing fast. We have the largest foot fetish creator site in the German-speaking market. The site is a leading niche platform that's been the #1 brand in the market for over 3 years. The site is highly profitable with consistent revenue, an established SEO footprint, and strong brand authority in its niche. We have a buyer who's looking for OnlyFans agencies, chatting companies, and OnlyFans traffic sites. He owns one of the top OnlyFans agencies in the world. We're offering a growing free porn gaming site with adult sex games. The site is owned by one of the top entrepreneurs in our industry. We have a premium AI companion platform focused on emotional realism and deep memory. Users interact with lifelike companions that remember every detail, respond with real emotion. They've just added advanced video capabilities. There are more properties for sale on our website. For more information on any of these listings, go to our listings page or contact us at adultsitebroker.com. Now time for this week's interview. My guest today on Adult Site Broker Talk is performer Ny Ny Lew. Ny Ny, thanks for being with us on Adult Site Broker Talk.
Hey, thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. Ny Ny is fresh off one of the longest and sexiest Brazzers runs that any independent creator has ever been on. Now this cosplay queen aims to take her brand and performance to the next level, and she's doing so with not only her return to big studio work, but by establishing something massive of her own. Ny Ny is an artist through and through. She also sings, directs, writes, and scores. In an age of the independent porn star, she is a woman who enters the industry wearing many other hats. The day she first stepped foot onto a Reality King set, Ny Ny took the entire cast and crew to another world. Her curves are just the start of a thrill ride that showcases one of the most striking beauties to ever walk the red carpet. You name the scenario, Ny Ny can perform it and take your senses to places that are both shocking and sensual. So, Ny Ny, how'd you like your commercial?
I loved it. It was wonderful, wonderful. Bravo, bravo.
Thank you. Okay, so what was the moment you realized you were built to be on camera, whether that was performing, directing, or creating your own scenes?
Well, honestly, like the camera and I always had like a little situationship going on, like every time I turned it on, like even as a kid, performing talent shows and things like that. And that's performing wise as well. Every time it turned on, something in me like activated. And it's always been like, that. Like even when I dance, did dummy work or film myself, I realized that performing wasn't just something I did. It's something who I am or something who I always was. And once I started creating my own series, writing my own scripts, and once I started creating my own, stuff and building characters, that's when it finally clicked, in the middle of me being in the adult film industry. Like, I wasn't just meant to be on camera. I was meant to command that shit. Oops, am I allowed to curse? Oops.
Of course,
okay.
Anytime you want.
Sorry, I should have asked that beforehand. But I was meant to command it. So that's when I realized, like in the middle of my career, I always knew I was a performer, but I know I was a on-camera performer, and that's different from stage and on camera,
Mm-hmm. Sure. So how did your background as a dancer and dominatrix shape the performer you've become?
Dancing, it always gave me confidence, body control, rhythm, and presence and being present in a moment. And being a dancer also gave me a high Q as a player, if you will. I have a high IQ because I'm aware of my, oh gosh, I hit my headphones. I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm aware of who's looking or how people respond to things. So, and being a dominatrix, it taught me discipline, respect, emotional intelligence, even though I already had that. It's like, it's either you have it or you don't, but you can always grow it, right? And the ability to read people, instantly. I'm not perfect, but, sometimes with my ADHD, I get thrown off. And, together, both of those together, being a dancer and a dominatrix, they turned me into a performer who can switch in between dominance and, comedy too. With my femdom stuff, I am a little comical, sensuality and softness. And I can do all of that effortlessly. It's like second nature for me.
That's awesome. What's something about the adult industry that people completely misunderstand?
Well, there's two answers I have for that. So the first one is people think that we're not human. They forget that we have real lives. We have real emotions, real responsibilities. We're not robots or AI. We're actually people with families, like mouths to feed, and communities, and people who actually depend on us, and people that actually really do love us and know what we do and not ashamed of us. And they will attack us in the comments like, oh, I feel bad for your kid. Like, why would you say something like that? My kid is happy as hell. He has everything he needs. He's probably living better than your kid. Like, what do you mean you feel poor kid? My kid is loved over here. What are you talking about? And, my father, he loves me too. And this and that. Like, why would you say these things? Some of us are married, with children, single parents like me, and we're caretakers, entrepreneurs. People own businesses, properties. We're more than just what they see on the screen. So they forget that we're whole human beings outside of a 20-minute to an hour-minute clip. Like, come on, man. And they think that we're hard to love. But in my experience, like my relationships before the industry was way more toxic than the ones I had that I was in an industry. I'm not going to lie.
It's the same with me. I was in radio, and this industry is just so much better.
Yeah.
And by the way, I have a lot of respect for single moms since I was raised by one. So I think that's the hardest job in the world. So good for you.
Yes. Thank you.
You built your brand without relying on big studios. How do you stay authentic and profitable in a world that pushes trends?
I want to say I don't chase trends, but I do. I make sure that my content is relevant to the trends, especially when it comes to cosplay, because timing is everything. But at the same thing, I'm not a clout chaser. I chase alignment. So I know who I am. I'm dominant and I can switch to be submissive at times. I'm goofy, creative, cinematic, and feminine, and I'm honest. And sometimes people, I feel like maybe if someone else said they will like it better because, maybe I'm like the wrong person to send a message. But I am pretty straightforward. I'm a straight shooter, even though I'm kind. So when you stick to who you are, the right audience will find you. So being authentic is profitable. Being unique is profitable because the people that connect with you, that's what matters, not a fucking algorithm.
Yeah, this is true. An algorithm never bought anything, did they?
Right.
What advice would you give to new creators about pricing content fairly without undercutting themselves?
Yeah, that's a good one. So, knowing your values, like stop bashing your prices on fear and comparing yourself to others. You're not competing with the whole internet and other creators. I mean, you're building a brand. So you charge based on your time, your creativity, your energy, and your boundaries. To me, fair pricing isn't about like being the cheapest. It's about being, whatever that works for you.
Yeah. So you've talked about creating a fair agency model. What does fairness mean to you in this industry?
Fairness to me, it means that everybody eats. The model, everybody that's a part of the business, chatter, the editor, the social media managers, no exploitation, no inflated prices, and no taking advantage of new performers. So it's like, I want an ecosystem where everyone feels supported, respected, and paid properly. And the industry makes enough money for everyone to eat and to win if the culture is right, if the ethics is right.
Yeah, I think there's a little too much taking advantage of in this industry. And it's easy to find. I mean, there's always somebody who wants your money.
Right.
So what inspired your return to music, and how does your experience as an adult entertainer influence your lyrics and delivery?
I have a lot of things to say, and I couldn't figure out how to articulate them, which is very funny for me to say. The eloquent one here. But it happens. I had my creative blocks, and I stepped away from music to survive, to raise my son, to build my adult career. So the artist in me never died, but I'm coming back now because I'm more intentional. I'm more honest. I'm more powerful. And, I lived a rap experience before, all of this. And I'm reinventing myself, and I can rap about that. I can rap about my pain, my humor, my dominance, my survivals, and my lyrics come from the same place my content does, which is my truth. And being a rapper, they say no cap in my rap. There's no cap in my rap because what I rap about, I have the proof. It's all over the internet. There's nothing to lie about. There's nothing to hide.
Interesting. Who would be your dream collab, both in the rap world and also an adult?
For the collab world, I would say Dread. My fans will lose their marbles. They're already losing it because we're following each other. So I'm like, okay, let's let that tension build. Whenever me and Dread get that collab going, it's going to happen. And I'm not going to tell them. I don't even care if I recorded last night. You're never going to know. I'm just going to drop it on you guys. And that's going to be epic. And as a size queen, and my fans know that, oh, they're going to lose it. And I have to protect that one because I know they're going to pirate it like within less than 24 hours.
Unfortunately, yes.
No, I have to be on top of those. And for the rap world, I would say Travis Scott.
Sure. Why not?
Yeah, he's pretty cool. I like his sound with his autotune and singing it. And I'm very versatile. So it's not like I just do rapping. Like I know how to hold a tune and things like that. So I feel like me and him coming together will make something really great. I've always felt that way.
There you go. Are you listening? So what does your creative process look like when you're writing versus when you're performing?
Okay, so for the writing stuff, for writing, I'm gonna say writing first. For let's do acting first, actually, because this is fresh in my head because I just went to acting school last week to start. Yeah, I want to strengthen my craft. That's what 2026 is gonna be all about. So when I went to acting school, my acting teacher, we broke down a script, which I've never done before. I have taken improv drama classes and things like this. And I like this guy. I picked him because he challenged me to think. So if I'm going to come on there as an actor versus the writer, especially with scenes, sometimes they give you the script the night before, especially like if it's an ad scene, there's more lines in there a little bit, but not that much. So what I learned is to go over a script 3 to 5 times, because the first time you read it is just like whatever. It's like blah. The second time, you're going to catch something that you missed. The third to the 5th time, you're going to see things in there that you never thought of, or you didn't know that it was even there. Then you can analyze the emotion from each character and things like that. And and as a writer, like, and still in an actor's perspective, even though they wrote it and they imagined how it's going to be, they don't know what they really want until somebody like you brings that out and it's like, oh, I never thought of it that way. But they always know what they don't want in their script, but they don't know what they want. And when he said that to me, it had me thinking, I'm like, okay, that's a great way to look at it, to break down the scripts, find the emotion, things like that, and actually literally put yourself in his shoes. And that's exactly what I do when I write my scripts. I kind of go crazy with it. So when I'm writing it, I literally, my room, if I'm writing in my bedroom, everything literally turns into the area that I'm in. So if I'm in a living room and I'm in a kitchen, I don't even know if I'm going to film in that kitchen, but I'm making it up and I'm making what I'm wearing and everything. And that's basically how I go through my process when I write my thing. So it's mental. I'm crafting, I'm tapping into emotions, I'm finding a story, and I just really go crazy with it. It's really wild. It's to the point that I literally feel myself in there. I'm there.
Yeah, no, it makes perfect sense. You've written and produced unique series like your clinic role play scenes. How do your film ideas come to life?
They're very random. Sometimes it's crazy. My ex-boyfriend, he's the one, he's living proof. He's seen this when we used to live with each other. He was my content partner as well. He also does porn. And I will literally wake up in the middle of the night and I'll be like, I got something. And I will literally write down the idea or whatever it was. Or it'll be random. We'll be eating dinner. I see something. I'm like, what if? That's how it starts. It literally starts off, what if? And then I will just write it down in my notes on my iPhone and I can finish it later. Sometimes that what if is so big, everything has to stop. I will stop and I will write it in my notes. And then I just create like a vault in my notes and then I go back to it later. So, and I love mixing. It could be a joke. It could be a fantasy or something that I actually experience. And I like to mix humor a lot because I'm a goof troop, kink, cinematics, and character work. So I'm not just shooting scenes. I'm building worlds. So my imagination leads the way in situations just pops up out of nowhere, or me just waking up in the middle of the night, or me just waking up that morning. I'm like, wait a minute. What if? It's crazy.
I've got kind of an aside to that. When you read other people's scripts, do you ever suggest changes on the set?
Maybe when I was first starting, and now I don't anymore because the story matters. Unless it was just that shitty, even though I'm a writer, if it was that shitty, then maybe I will. And I'm one of those people when I see something going left and wrong, I have to step in. And I hate when I have to do that sometimes because I'm a woman and I like to be in my feminine, soft era, especially when I'm working with men. I don't want to have to dominate the scene, especially if that's not my role. But if I see something falling, I can't help it because if I don't, and then post-production comes up, everybody's mad. And I could have saved that.
Well, it's kind of like when you see two cars going towards each other, you got to hit your horn, right?
So the story matters. So the story matters more than anything than the character. I'm not going to try to change that.
Sure. What's your approach to directing other talent? How do you make them feel safe and creative on your sets?
Respect first, or actually safety first. Sorry. Respect second, and creativity third. Especially like, because I mostly do boy-girl scenes. And like I was saying earlier, I don't want a man to feel like I'm trying to dominate him. I like to be in my soft feminine energy, even though I may be directing that scene. I want him to know that, But you know how directors are. They're very, especially the old school guys, which I appreciate. I appreciate old directors like Maestro and stuff like that. I love it. And I understand because you know what you want. You know it's how it's supposed to be. And if you're not a soft ass, you'll be okay. If you're able to listen and take directions, you'll be okay. So I try to do that. And sometimes I can get my little moments, but I want people to feel safe and seen so they can perform their best. I don't want them to feel like I have a gun to your head. Say those lines like this. You better. You're not funny enough, And then it's not funny anymore and they look awkward on camera. And I've seen that before, So I try to communicate clearly, honor boundaries, and make sure it's fun. I crack my jokes in between to let them know, like, hey, I'm not a hard ass, but I do want my shit to come out right. And the more comfortable a performer is, they give a powerful performance and a great experience.
Sure. How do you want to change the game for women behind the camera?
I want women to own their own narratives. I want more women writing, directing, producing, and profiting from their creativity. We don't always have to be in front of the cameras. We could be architects, and women bring depth. We do bring humor. We bring sensuality. We bring emotional intelligence into filmmaking. And the industry needs more of that and different stuff. And I feel like I'm one of those people that can bring that, even though it's little on me. And I want to inspire other women to do the same.
Yeah. How's your experience so far been with directing? Have you done a lot of it?
For my own content, yes. And I appreciate the people that trusted me. In the beginning, it was really, really rough. And people would say, yes, I want to do this. And they all don't fall through. And most of those were mostly lesbian scenes. And everybody knows how those go. And I had to learn my way. And I had to fuck around and find out, that lesbian scenes are really hard to put together in many, many different ways and many reasons why. But when I have done them, they went pretty great. And I love that people actually trust my creativity, acting like I'm too good to hear suggestions. Because I'll even ask, like, what do you think about that? And they say, yeah, that's great. Cool. I'm like, okay. And I also, let people improv. So it's not even like lines they have to actually necessarily memorize or have to recite. I just give lines just for them to have an idea of how the conversation should go. But certain lines, I do want to make sure, like, these are key lines. This has to be said because this leads to this. This is the arc, and this is the end. So I need these two things to be said. Other than that, do what you can.
Yeah. So you definitely give your performers leeway.
Yes, a lot of leeway.
Okay, and that's probably because you like to have that.
Yes and no, because I can do both. I have a background, from high school and a little bit of college of taking drama and acting and improv and things like that and doing theater work. So it doesn't bother me, but I know content creators, especially when they're just a content creator and haven't been on a professional set like porn stars are, they are not used to that. They don't have that in them. But them willing to do that with me, willing to be and not being intimidated with a script, just lights me up. It gets me excited because I'm like, hey, you're willing to try something other than gonzo and just like, hey, let me just put on an outfit, a nice sexy lingerie outfit, and let's just turn on the camera and just go at it, which is great. Gonzo is good. I am totally not against gonzo, but I am such a creative. I just have to have a nice setup to my scene and build that up. And sometimes in my scripted scenes, I do actually have positions that I actually want to hit that I know that would be a shock factor or a wow factor. Like somebody's in a back bend over or something like that, doing a blowjob. I'm like, I want to do that while the other girl is doing this, So I might throw that in there because I'm like, no, this is fire. And then sometimes when I put those positions in there, when I can find them, especially like on GIFs and stuff, and I add them in my script, just like how MindGeek writes theirs, they kind of inspired me to write my scripts like how they write theirs. It gets them excited to see those positions like, oh, I want to attempt that. I never tried that.
Interesting. If you had to pick one niche, what would be the niche that you would do all the time?
Yikes. I hate being in a box. No, oh man.
What's your favorite?
My favorite, I could do one thing. Well, based on with the money and the numbers, if I had to pick based on numbers, it would just be boy, girl for sure. Anal. Boy, girl, anal. And I'll just do anal.
Interesting. Do you enjoy that the most?
Yes, I do. So it'll be a squirting anal girl. Cause I like it. I can take it better in there. Only thing I hate about anal is the prep. I hate the process. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I try to make it fun by playing music and do a little dancey dance and do my little steps and walks. So I have a little process of how I do that to make it fun, but it doesn't feel good because sometimes when your stomach starts doing that little turning thing, it's like, here we go, and then the dieting, I'm like, dang. 3 days before my anal scene, I know that I have to change what I eat because I know how my stomach is, so I don't like that.
What do you have to stay away from?
Beans.
Oh, well, yeah.
Tomatoes. I can't eat the things I like. Cheese, dairy, gotta go, man. That's out the window. What else? Have to avoid. Yeah, stuff like that. Dairy, beans, anything that'll make you go, basically. I stay away from, or that makes me go.
Gotcha. Okay. What's a film or skit idea that lives rent free in your head that you just haven't shot yet?
Oh, I need to shoot this. So it's a Safe for Work. It's a comedy thing because that's what I'm working on. I have an Instagram separate. It's Safe for Work, and it's basically about me and the strike system. So a friend of mine in this industry, he told me about his 3 strike system that he gives everybody that he dates. But me, I apply it to anybody who's new in my life, that's coming into my life. And it could be something like if you cross my boundary or disrespect me, sometimes you could strike out just with one thing you did. It just depends on how bad it is. You just strike out just right then and there. But you can earn your strikes back. Strike, strike, strike. So I made a comedy sketch about it, and it's hilarious. So in a nutshell, I like talking to imaginary men, and I have this book, like a handbook of strikes and how to earn your strikes back, and this and this and that. And I'm like, if you do this, strike, 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 strike. So I have it written out how I want it to go, and I have like a whiteboard, and it's hilarious.
You should put an umpire's mask on when you do that.
So I just keep thinking, strike, 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 strike. You're a strike.
Like I said, an umpire's mask would be perfect.
I would probably have to get one of those. Thank you for that. I didn't even think of that. So you know what? I'm going to add that in my notes on top of this script right now. It's in my notes.
Always happy to help.
Thank you. That's hilarious. My jump cuts will be me doing strike.
Yep. Exactly.
I love that. Thank you. Yeah. I'm definitely going to have to use that.
Okay. What drew you into cosplay and character-based content in the first place?
Well, I've always been a naturally character girl. I love dressing up. I like to switch up my personalities. I get bored easily. I got ADHD, so I be jumping around. I bounce around and bounce off ideas. And I like building alternate worlds. And I get to help people, have those little fantasies that they seen of that cartoon. Like, oh yeah, that cartoon character was really hard. Or that anime girl or whatever like that. I always wanted to see that person that way, especially if I know I can pull it off like Catwoman. Oh, hell yeah. That's what drew me into it. And I seen other girls and I'm like, that's hot. Yeah. And then when I start doing it, I start getting really good feedback. So it kind of pulled me into it.
How often are these your fantasies?
How often? Here and there, I would say it's very, very sporadic, if you will.
Give me an example.
Example of who?
Of a fantasy that you've pulled off on film.
Oh, I think Catwoman, to be honest. I did the Halle Berry one, and I know some people would not. They say that she was the worst the worst Catwoman of all of them.
Halle Berry can do no wrong in my eyes. So,
right? I think she's
just
phenomenal.
Way too hot.
She's so hot, right? So I remember when I seen her, and I was a teenager at that time. And I looked at her and I was like, wow, she just made Catwoman hot. I never looked at Catwoman like she was hot until Halle Berry did it. everything about it. Even when she was like, acting like mimicking like cat behaviors and looking at the window and drinking the milk. I was like, oh, this is, whoa, new kink unlocked. What? What happened here? And me and her skin complexion is very similar. The haircut, everything. Oh, so I was like, wait a minute. And I seen it in myself and I never thought I could, because one of my first sub never had when I got into the BDSM community, he just kept pushing that on me. He's like, you're Catwoman, you're Catwoman. And then he bought me a Catwoman costume, the Halle Berry one. And then I said, oh, I see what you're saying. You're on to something, sir. Well, he should be sir, but you're on to something. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to do it in a porn scene. And fans loved it. They ate that up.
That sounds great. That's another one I got to see for sure. How do you use costumes and personas to express different sides of yourself, both sexually and comedically?
So each character, they're different. They have a different flavor, sexy, funny. It's all timing and confidence for me and commitment. So I like to become another person. They let me become another person. I like to switch it up. It challenges me sexually and comedy wise, because it really does excite me. Like some actors and actresses, they get scared of being something that they're not used to, or somebody they might not really like so much. So Catwoman is considered a villain, but I have to throw her up there. But me, I get excited. If somebody says, hey, go be that crackhead, I'm going to be excited, because I get to express something differently. And I'm going to be a funny crackhead. And, and Halle Berry, I keep bringing her up again. She's one of my favorite actresses. She played one hell of a great crackhead more than once.
No, she's a hell of an actress. There's no two ways about it. No two ways about it. When you're doing the cosplay, have you thought about doing some characters that you haven't done so far?
Yes, there's characters I haven't done.
Such as?
Storm. I feel like I can pull that off. I just, with my high astigmatism, them eye contacts, I don't know how long that scene is going to go. I'm like, can we AI these eye contacts on my eyes? Because, baby, I'm going to be done in 30 minutes. Wrap it up, guys. I think I can pull off Storm very, very well. Who else? It was in my head and it just slipped away just like that. Now, Poison Ivy and Starfire from Teen Titans.
Okay. Now, I kind of get the impression that you have ambitions to do more than just porn acting. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
Talk about it.
So the thing is, I am venturing off into my comedy side. And that's something I've been running away from a while. Not because I don't think I'm funny. I just don't think that I'm funny enough. But people keep telling me that, in a strip club, in my strip club days, I will come to people and talk to them and I would make people laugh so hard. And they're like, you're so funny. Why don't you do comedy? And oh man, you know who you remind me of? I'm like, who? Tiffany Haddish. I got that a lot. And I was like, oh no, I'm funnier than that bitch. And then they start laughing even more. I love saying that line. Yeah, she's funny. She's hilarious. But I would crack people up and I would just say I wasn't afraid to say anything. Even if it came off offensive, I was really bold with it. And, being a stripper in Las Vegas, you don't see these people. You would never, the odds of you seeing these people again is very slim. So, and my stripper or my hoe workers, if you will, they'll say, how do you say these things to these people and you're not afraid? You're so bold with it. And I'm like, I'm never going to see them again. What are you afraid of? You think they're going to come back tomorrow? They may if you did a great job and they want to spend money on you again. But hey, I don't give a fuck.
That's kind of a win-win to me.
Right?
So, sounds like more thinking about doing stand-up, yes?
Yeah, I think that'll be it. And just being an author.
What would you like to write about?
So I already wrote one book and I haven't read it in years. I wrote it in probably 2013 and it was called Beautifully Cursed. And the book is basically about being a beautiful person on outside, but also beautiful on the inside. And if you don't have the tools, like with boundary tools, self-love tools and things like that, you can easily get walked over. And that's what makes you beautifully cursed, because you're so beautiful on the inside, but you're not equipped though. So I wrote about that, and I did not release that book. And I want to look at it and see what I wrote and see, because my views has changed and I've grown and I've matured. And I was younger then, I was only 23 when I wrote that book. I was very young, and I had a good spirit.
You still look very young.
Right. I looked in the mirror yesterday. I was like, man, I look 25. What happened? So when I was 23, I looked 16. No. But I'm working on another book right now, and I don't know when it's going to release, but it's coming soon. I don't have a name for it, but it's similar to Beautifully Cursed, but it's for people in the adult industry. I have been through a lot of ups and downs with content partners, dating people in the industry, friends in the industry, etc. And every time, almost every other day, or at least once a week when I open my Twitter, I see a content creator being taken advantage of, or having a boyfriend pimp that's disguising as a content creator partner, or whatever, and it's mostly in the content creation side than, adult film, and I'm not saying that things don't happen within, mainstream, because it does, but content creators, they just wake up and like, you know what, I think I want to try this. I want to do this. And they may not have friends or mentors or anybody to help them do that. And everybody's coming out with books that are like, this is how you become a content creator. Do this, get the domain name, this and that, LLC, S Corp, right? And that's cool and on. I thought about writing a book like that, but I'm going to put that in a back burner because I feel like the book that I'm writing is needed more than everything. And I want to make sure I touch everything. And so far I outlined to 14 chapters, and I'm going to try to be very thorough with it. It's very heartfelt, well thought out. And since I'm in this alignment right now, I want to take the time to do my speed writing, get some proofreading and things like that. And hopefully I can drop it real soon. Don't have a date yet.
Why do you think content creators tend to get taken advantage of?
I feel like because most of them have no one to guide them that has good intentions. They're just coming in, and a lot of them don't have a lick of sex work of anything. People who may have a sex worker background may have tougher skin, may be able to sense danger more. A lot of these people are vanilla. A lot of these content creators are made in a pandemic, and these are a lot of vanilla people.
Yeah, they were people that were out of work that needed to try to do something, and a lot of them stumbled into a lot of money.
Yeah, and here they are, and some of them just want it so bad, and they figured, hey, here's somebody that's a wolf dressed in sheep clothing, or it might be a handsome guy with all these numbers. He say, yeah, I can help you do this and that. Or even women, I see women do it to new guys too, because everybody in the industry may know how this girl is, and he's thinking like, oh, she has all these numbers, she's popular, all these guys admire her. Oh yeah, I have her. And then they just see it taken advantage of. They're lacking knowledge. They don't know anything. They're innocent. They're like innocent little children come in and like, okay, I want to do this. And then somebody would just like, yeah, get them. You got to learn how to swim with the sharks. They don't know how to swim with sharks.
Yeah. So what is your opinion overall of agencies that handle creators?
I had my fair share of 2 or 3. I haven't found a good one yet, based on my experience.
I know good ones, but I also know there's some real bad ones too.
Yeah, and I have a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to them, and I'm not ready to surrender my page to anybody no time soon. Some of them, are pimps. They just looking at you as another dollar, and they want to run it the way they want to do it, and they're not. They're saying that they have all these questions, like some of them have questions based on your personality, so they know how to operate your page and when to talk to your fans and things like that. And you do all of that and you do the complete opposite. It's like copy and paste. You might as well just hire an AI bot at this point. Cause like, what the hell? I'm looking and I'm like, why are you saying that? Why are you doing that? Why are you overpricing? Why are you underpricing? All these things. Now I get all these chargebacks and angry fans that's been loyal to me for years, and now they're not coming back. Or they may come back later like, I don't know what was going on there. Did you have somebody on your page? And now I have to be honest, and I also tried to independently like hire my own and it just didn't work. So if I ever had somebody on my page, they just can't touch my fans. They can't talk to them. That's my boundary. You don't talk to them. You can send out PPVs and things like that and schedule and queue my posts. But when it comes to talking to them, I got it. Don't say shit.
Well, they better be good. If somebody's going to speak to your fans, then they need to really know what they're doing, right?
Yeah, and these agencies, they just quick to hire. They're just trying to fill bodies and not even doing the due diligence. They're just like, okay, this person wants to be a chatter. I just do this quick little training or no training at all and just throw them on somebody's page. They don't know the TOS. They don't know the guidelines. And you're messing with people's livelihoods here. This is against the TOS and they're talking about this and you're saying this to this person. Why are you saying these words? This is prohibited. Like what's happening here?
So you've got people that are doing things that are against the terms of service, like of OnlyFans?
Yes, that has happened to me.
Such as?
Like in one instance, a fan asked for my phone number so they can meet up with me. And the chatter said, well, if you tip me $200, I'll give you my phone number. Bitch, you didn't even ask me first. Usually I tell them, hey, if you're not sure about something, I tell them, I said, message me on Telegram and I will tell you what to say. I already typed out a sheet. I'm very thorough. I'm a Virgo. I'm organized. I don't play that. I give them where I'm from, my age, where I'm currently at, all of this, favorite color, foods, how many pets do I have, everything. The basic things that they normally repeatedly ask. You reference that. Now, if they're asking for my phone number and it says that in there as well, that's against TOS. You redirect the answer, but now I don't even have them redirect answers anymore. I tell them straight up, nip it in the butt right then and there. As soon as you kill it, and try to keep it sexy. Like, hey, babe, this is against TOS. I can't have this type of conversation right now. And sometimes I even tell them like, this is my livelihood right here. And then and fans don't want to do that too. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry. I won't talk about that. Like, yeah, we can't talk about that here, babe. No, I don't hear this is against community guidelines. And I tell them one time and I say, hey, I said, if you continue to have these type of conversations with me, you will lose access to communicating with me forever. And if they do it again, I restrict them. I let them ride out their 30 days and that's it. Strong boundaries.
Look, you got to be smart. You got to be smart. This is a business. And it blows me away that somebody would try to get a $200 tip for that.
She was just trying to get her quota up.
Yeah, no kidding. So what do you think cosplay reveals about human desire and fantasy?
What does it reveal? To me, it's so many things. It's like, it's a nerd thing too. Mostly nerds. Not saying only nerds, but mainly nerds. And those are my favorite. They're so cute. I think I have a nerd kink.
Why is that?
Because they're different. The way they think and how shy and awkward they are. I like the awkwardness. The awkwardness is so cute. And I feel like not all nerds, because I dated a nerd and he caught me off guard, but they're kind of more innocent, more genuine. And I'm attracted to genuine, authentic people. And I can see that shit. When I see that you're a identity parasite or a personality hijacker or anything like that, I can see that shit. And it just turns me up like, ugh, you're not genuine, So I feel like most nerds, they're just being their pure self and they're awkward and it's cute because it's like, that's you. That's part of your personality. And they're so passionate about the things that they're knowledgeable about, like the tech or anything like that. And when I ask about it, they just go through the whole rundown. And I have ADHD and it's hard for me to listen to long explanations, in those type of conversations, but I be locked in because I see that they're passionate and they're excited about that. And nerds do that. So cute.
No doubt. Well, Nana, I'd like to thank you for being with us today on Adult Side Broker Talk, and I hope we'll get a chance to do this again soon.
Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure to have you.
My broker tip today is part 2 of what to do to make your site more valuable for when you decide to sell it later. Last week, we talked about converting traffic and improving user experience. Make a good offer. If you're selling something and the offer isn't good, you won't make money. It's plain and simple as that. And if your offer is to contact you or to get more information, then make the offer attractive and easy to understand. If you're selling something, make buying easy. Show them an easy way to buy and then leave. Help them by making suggestions on what to buy. Amazon.com is the best at this. They always have suggestions on what to buy based on your buying and browsing history. They use AI to do this. There are AI engines available these days at a modest cost. Look into this if you can. Don't clutter up your site with unnecessary items, buttons, and images. Keep it as simple as possible. The best and most successful sites are the simple ones, the ones that lead you to take the action you'd like them to take. It's not that hard. Just remember, when you're putting together any site, try to think through the buying process like a human being. Whatever you do, don't turn over that process to your designer. Don't just say, build me a website. What you'll get out the other end will not give you what it is you're looking for. Give them as much direction as possible and make it easy for them to build a site for you that makes your business succeed. We'll talk about this subject more next week. And next week we'll be speaking with Sean Dock of Fuckspace. And that's it for this week's Adult Site Broker Talk. I'd once again like to thank my guest, Ny Ny Lew. Talk to you again next week on Adult Site Broker Talk. I'm Bruce Friedman.